today. So thanks for joining me this Sunday. And again, I'm streaming from my place, so I have to use the Restream Studio, and I'm super parang kinakapa ko pa. I'm used to being able to see like how many people and like are we live and things like that. We are also live now on IG, so we're streaming via Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. Although the IG, the audio necessarily isn't that great because I'm just using the one on my cell phone. But the IG people are still
Bibili ka ng PC, tapos lagi kailangan ng Windows.
for YouTube
Pero
and
saan
Facebook.
ka kukuha ng legit Windows? Daming options, daming prices. Ah, kalito.
Buti na lang, may cdkeyoffers.com.
Madali lang ang order.
Search for the software you need, add to cart, daan ka sa payment options nila.
Wala pang 5 minutes, finished! May legit working CDK ka na para sa Windows mo.
Gamitin ang aming code para makakuha pa ng discounts.
Kaya kung naghahanap ka ng legit, mura, at original software,
Check out cdkeyoffers.com.
3050s. Sorry, IG guys, I was talking to you because there was an ad. I was playing an ad on YouTube and Facebook, but now the ad is over, so now I got to split my time between you guys. Uh, Sup, Jericho, Django, thanks. Yep. I really meant to play the ad for Facebook and YouTube, pero kausap ko yung mga IG guys, so we're also live kasi also on IG. Um, the Intel rags, the Intel Arc C GPUs are supposed to be coming this year. So we'll just get into it. A very short stream, just to take us up to lunchtime, and then everybody should go get their lunch. Actually, it's a busy time now at the shop. Ang dami nagpapa-build. Um, so now wouldn't be a good time like kung may bala kayo dumaan sa shop kasi baka walang tao, magpapa-cleaning kayo or upgrade of some part. Now would not be the best time actually kasi yun nga okay, wait lang guys and kausap ko rin yung staff ko ngayon and then they are asking about a payment. Let me check. So, what's up, Rene from Facebook? Uh, Wait. Sorry, guys. Shop work comes first. and but yeah, so I do need to do some work, but just hang out with me for a little bit. Basically, what I'm doing is somebody paid for a build in the shop and they transferred money via to BDO. Oh shoot! And now I am trying to access BDO to see if payment has been transferred. The stream will resume shortly. Ay. And of course now BDO. Sorry IG guys, the BDO supposedly sent me a text. Okay. Here we go, here we go. Di ko na lang i-share yung screen ko or at ibulong yung one-time pin. Baka Mark Nagoyo pa tayo. For those who aren't familiar, that is the name of the fictitious account that the scammers used around 2-3 weeks ago. I think it's quite recent na um, may mga na-scam sila tapos they sent it to a Union Bank account tapos yung account name Mark Nagoyo. Which in hindsight, might have been an indication na hindi up and up tong si Mark Nagoyo. Okay, I am in the account. Let me just verify. The thing with BDO, okay, okay. I was just about to complain na BDO doesn't update properly. Pero mukhang na-update naman. Confirmed. So, actually, we do have some customers. Speaking about confirmation, parang dadating sila sa shop and like I probably shouldn't share this because it's not good practice. But sup, James from Facebook. Um, Yeah, it's not good practice. Pero, we do have some customers, dadating sila sa shop and they're like, may limit kasi, may transfer account limit, 50,000 lang. So, hindi abot doon sa bill nila kasi, medyo mahal yung computer paminsan. They're like, can we get the computer now? Tapos, saka na namin ita-transfer like the next day kasi nga 50,000 peso limit per day. And to be honest, and again, probably shouldn't be sharing this, but if you look trustworthy and basically if I'm there, the staff doesn't usually allow it. But if I'm there and maayos ka naman kausap, I've talked to you before on Facebook. Usually I'm like, yeah, okay, sige. We'll trust you to transfer the remaining funds. And again, it's a terrible practice for us for the shop kasi basically wala kaming hawak. But okay naman siya. Wow. Supposedly did we cut off? Parang naputol tayo on Facebook and YouTube, but let's see if it still says we're live. Um, and it's still showing me numbers. Are we still on? Let me check. Where's my chat? Uh, Man, where is my chat? Ah, here we go. Chat. Still good? Sup, BJ David? Thank you for letting me know. I don't know if it's the indicator in Restream Studio, pero sabi niya na the network connection is 0 out of 10. Pero according to the comments, okay pa naman. Sup, BJ David? Ah, yes. And the whole point of doing Restream Studio, yun nga, dito sa bahay, I don't know what it is. If I stream through OBS and then through Restream, palagi napuputol. Pero parang buhay na buhay pa siya dito sa Restream Studio, even though the indicators are telling me baka hindi. Plus, as a bonus, we get to use the nice chat feature thingy. All right, so sorry for the video bad, audio very good. Well, I guess that's probably the auto buffering of YouTube. Parang it's making do with what it can. There's not much to see anyway, to be honest. It's just my face. So they could like mute the video. Probably better off. So today's stream is talking about tech to expect in 2022. So let's jump right into it before mawalan pa tayo ng internet connection. So I'll talk about a bit about what we already have. There's the Intel 12th Gen, which is congratulations to Intel, super okay. At the shop, the last Intel generation we regularly stocked, like talagang may on hand kami was 9th gen. Kasi after that, parang di na talaga siya sulit. We felt hindi siya value for money to have it in the shop. Tas i-recommend namin sa customers. Pero yung performance, medyo kapos. Parang kulang siya compared to AMD. I do understand that there were some Intel 10th gen CPUs medyo toward mid-range na okay naman for price to performance. But even then, it wasn't like hassle mag-stock ng Intel kasi you need to have the mobos. It's really hard for the shop actually kasi most of the suppliers, hindi ka lang pwede bumili ng CPU, kailangan mo rin bumili ng ng mobo. Tapos sa amin dito sa Hardware Sugar, walang required na bundle. So, we would sell the CPU separately and the MOBO separately. Paminsan may bibili nung CPU lang pero maiiwan sa amin yung MOBO. Ano rin gagawin namin doon? So, kahit nakabenta kami ng CPU, lugi pa rin yung shop. So that's why we were really kind of iffy on the 9th gen and 10th gen, required pa mag-bundle. Pero Steam Deck, not to be confused with Stream Deck, that is true. Those are two different things. Let me highlight that because I can now. So, 9th gen and 10th gen really weren't worth it for us. Pero ngayon, nagsa-stock na kami nung Intel 12th gen. All the reviews have been uniformly like, at least, hindi naman talaga habol namin like, talagang ito the best talaga. Depending on the application, depending on what you're gonna use it for. May sinabi pa rin naman si AMD 5000 series. But yun nga, they're basically neck and neck in terms of price and performance. So it makes sense now and it's good from the point of view of the customer to have both of them, to give them that option now. So we are stocking the Intel 12th gen and we are even stocking the DDR5 mobos. Kasi dun sa Intel 12th gen, it is the first CPU that is compatible with DDR5. The the newest RAM spec, which to be honest has been around for a while, but it's only becoming mainstream or accessible to the consumers. Yung actually na makakabili ka na, and even then it's quite rare. We do have some in the shop, but it's super expensive. Sobrang mahal ng DDR5. but it's supposed to be much faster, especially as manufacturers kind of figure out like ano yung magandang timings for it and stuff. Medyo rocky pa rin yung it's not as stable really as if you go with earlier platforms and go with DDR4. But if you want to be on the bleeding edge, DDR5, Intel 12th Gen is the way to go. We actually have two Intel builds in the shop now na yung pinaka high end niya, yung i9 12900KF. So the blazing, yung pinakamabilis talaga ng kaya. Tapos magde-DDR5 pa siya. So we're excited to talk about that a little bit. But basically, tech to expect in 2022. No need to wait for the Intel 12th Gen. It is available now in the shop as well as other places. Also DDR5, and we'll highlight from BJ David. Yes, what I like about it's good na competition is good for the consumer. It drives prices down and it makes people, it forces manufacturers to be on their toes na yung sa akin kailangan mas mabilis kaysa dun sa kakompetensya ko. So, it's good for everybody. Not good for the manufacturers because yun nga, it's more work for them, but it's good for the consumers. Gives you more options, mas gives you more value for money kasi yun nga napipilitan sila na I can't charge too high because the other guy has a decent offering as well. So Intel 12th Gen and then DDR5, yun nga, to be honest, on paper, DDR5 sounds good. Apparently, it has two channels now, so the CPU can talk to the RAM in layman's terms. I'm trying to simplify it, not just for the audience, but for myself as well. Hindi naman ako nagmamarunong na I understand all of the nitty-gritty tech stuff. But basically for DDR5, one of the chief advantages is na yes, you can pump it up faster. So current DDR4 is around I think 3.6, 3.8, maybe 4,000. I think like that's the upper limit na ata. DDR5 you can go well beyond 5,000. You can reach 6,000 megahertz or so. So it's much faster and it also comes with two channels. So apparently you can talk the CPU can now talk to the RAM twice simultaneously in sort of one cycle. Let me see if sorry, according to my notes, DDR5 can actually pump up all the way up to 8,400 megahertz, which is more than double, I think, what DDR4 can do, which is insane. And yun nga, since it has two channels now, kaya na niya kausapin yung dalawang sticks at the same time. Um, Sorry, kaya na kaya ng kausapin ni CPU si RAM twice in the same cycle. So kumbaga, I guess maybe a better analogy would be it now has two ears, so that it can receive two instructions or send out one instruction and receive one instruction at the same time. Although, yun nga, again, it sounds good on paper, pero real world performance, hindi pa siya nagagamit talaga. All of these nice things about new tech, it takes a while for the applications to catch up because the software coders, they need to bake it into their applications na, oh, kaya na pala yung speed na yan or kaya na pala yung feature na yan. But it's useless if the programs themselves can't take advantage, if they don't know that, oy, kaya na pala yan, we can use that. So it'll take some time, parang console yan actually. Console, the next gen comes out, but the games, there's a long development cycle, 4 years, I think, for AAA games. So you don't see the benefits of the latest hardware right away in consoles. And ganun din sa computer. Manufacturers come out with them, but it takes a little while for the proper instructions, for the code, for the applications to properly use all of that new hardware. So right now, in terms of real-world applications, actually DDR5 is faster, but not that much faster. So in terms of value for, price to performance, yes, if you want to be on the bleeding edge and you don't want to upgrade in the next 5 years, sige, baka pwede. But, if you're willing to wait, you don't really feel the full force of the DDR5 potential speed yet right now. So actually, Intel claims that the i9 12900K is the top of the line. It's the beast. Siya yung pinakamabilis na gaming PC. But actually, recently, according to AMD, it came out with the R7 5800X. That's not a new model. But the new model is the 3D. So this is 3D V cache technology. I think I saw somebody saying something about the cache in the chat. Somebody said cache. Here. You from YouTube, Zorax, AMD, all the cash. AMD investors, all the cash. I don't know this particular architecture for the 3D cache of AMD, but uh, it's it's sort of like a new model or an improved model on the 5000 series line. So they're claiming with the R7 500X 3D, yeah, 3D, so that indicates that it has their 3D Vcache technology. With DDR4 RAM, natalo niya 5% faster yung AMD CPU with DDR4 RAM compared to the i9 12900K with DDR5 RAM. So I'm not saying that it's possible is what I'm saying. I can believe that kasi yun nga wala pa talaga yung applications na magagamit yung super speed nung DDR5. It's still in the shakedown phase. And Francis from YouTube does point out that I've seen a video comparison DDR4 versus DDR5. DDR4 still faster. And again, yun nga, I can believe it. It's gonna take a little while to really feel the potential. So potential ngayon sa DDR5. But yung actual real world performance, it's gonna take a little while for programmers and the programs to catch up with that. Definitely over time it will. Who wouldn't want to tap into the added potential speed of DDR5. Pero yun nga, wala pa tayo doon at this point. Casey Bolio, sup? And I do like your comment on gets a new phone. I'm actually thinking of getting one of the new Google phones. They released last month. Pero I'll wait until mga June kasi I have family coming back from the States mga June. Baka magpabili ako second hand yung Google. They don't call it Nexus now anymore, no? I don't even know what the Google calls their phone. Google phone or something. Pero yeah, so I might, but again, second hand. Just like my current phone now, which I'm using to stream to IG Live. The OnePlus 5T, second hand ko nabili. It's been with me for 4 or 5 years. Still very good. So I might do that as well if I upgrade later in mid-year. Brian Kabling, up from Facebook. Brian has been a loyal customer of the shop. Thank you. BJ David, the 12th Gen i3 is actually kicking the R5 3600 to the curb. Sad. I admit to a little bias in favor of AMD because I still think that they're the underdogs and I have a soft spot for the underdogs. But yes, I do agree. Most of the reviews price for performance, the 12th Gen i3s are really good value. If you can find them, actually, it's really hard to stock Intel, especially the lower to mid tier CPUs. Currently on hand, we have the i5 12600 pataas. But the i5 12500 sold out, and I haven't seen any i3s from our suppliers. So, very difficult to stock those right now, even like for a PC shop like us, and we have multiple suppliers that we can tap. BJ David and Casey Bolio's Pixel, yep. Yun, Google Pixel, because they used to call it Nexus before. Or was Nexus their tablet? I forget. John Ruben Ocha, who was at the shop yesterday and who was actually sige, I won't disclose na lang what he bought, but this topic of tech to expect in 2022 is very close to home for John Ruben Ocha. People comparing the Ryzen 5000 series with Intel 12th Gen, but they forget na yung 11th Gen was released months after the 5000 series. I do agree that the timing, it's a bit unfair to compare the two generations since the timing. Obviously, mas bago si Intel 12th Gen, so they have the benefit of the time advantage, meaning that the tech is newer. Um, I guess it's just a function of the market. The top of the line of AMD is the 5000 series, then top of the line is for Intel is the 12th gen. So that's naturally what people sort of compare it to. It is a little apples and oranges in the sense that mas luma na nga yung tech ni AMD. We actually have not seen price drops. In fact, for the a little bit, but like for the 5600X, it's still super in demand. And actually, it's been super hard to get, like from a stock perspective from the shop. It's been super hard to get Ryzen 500, 5600X. We do have some in stock now, but it was really difficult, difficult to get them for the shop. Let me handle some tech questions. So I wanted to start with that. So I'll end with tech to expect in 2022, but we already have it now at the start of the year. Intel 12 Gen, DDR5, and lastly, what do we have now? No, wala pa. Okay. Well, the 3D Vcache of AMD, although I haven't seen those locally available yet. I'll take some chat questions from Stephen from Facebook. Sup? Again, another regular name popping up. Thanks for joining us on the stream. Pretty exciting yung market pagdating ni Zen 4. Yes, the AMD 6,000. Are they calling them 6,000? Parang nag-skip ba sila nung 7,000 for the next generation AMD CPUs? I can't quite recall, but yeah. Although I am sad, I had a video last month about the best AM socket CPU, and the AM platform, AM4 platform for AMD was so value for money. Kung nagsimula ka sa Ryzen 1000 series hanggang 5000 series, compatible pa rin yung motherboard mo kasi socket AM4. Assuming the BIOS updates, your manufacturer was good with the BIOS updates. But what a superb platform, and really sobrang hats off to AMD for supporting AM4. Yes, there were some missteps, like parang they announced na A320 or B450. I think the B450 parang hindi na siya compatible sa 5000, pero ang daming umangal. And then so binalik naman nila yung support. But what a superb platform, the AM4 platform, and the swan song, the last hurrah was the 5000 series, and yun nga lilipat na sila to a different architecture for the next generation. Pero ang ganda talaga, sobrang bilib ako for the support that AMD had for the AM4 platform. Both BJ David and John Ruben Ocha helped me out with the spec. It's 6,000 for the mobile versions, 7,000. Speaking of the new gen for the Ryzen series, I always, to be honest, we don't cover a lot of laptops, so I never, di ko na sinasayang yung brain power ko trying to remember like itong Intel yung U series, I think, or I think it's U for AMD. They have different versions for the mobile, for laptop, but I never really think about them too much anymore. And well, that's where I tripped up. So 6,000 is for the mobile, and 7,000 is for desktop. Francis from YouTube, I'm going back to Intel again. Uh, he finds the 2700X and the 3700X are too hot. Actually, the 5000 series is designed to be run even hotter. I've seen quotes nga from AMD saying na, yeah, 90 degrees, 95, no problem. That's really what we meant to do. All right, guys. I told the sponsor that I would do have a mid-stream ad, so I'm gonna do that now before I forget.
Bibili ka ng PC, most likely kailangan ng Windows.
Pero saan ka kukuha ng legit Windows? Daming options, daming prices. Nito.
Buti na lang, may cdkeyoffers.com. Madali lang ang order. Search for the software you need, add to cart, daan ka sa payment options nila.
Wala pang 5 minutes, finished! May legit working CDK ka na para sa Windows mo.
Gamitin lang aming code para makakuha pa ng discounts.
Kaya kung naghahanap ka ng legit, mura, at original software,
Check out CDK Offers.
That ad always cuts off like right at the end. I don't know why. If you were listening to the ad, I had my mic muted, but I was talking to the IG guys because we are streaming on IG live as well. And if you haven't followed us yet on IG, please do so kasi humabol pa yung ad. Kulit. No, nabitin lang siya, but it got there. It got there in the end. Please do follow us on IG as well because we're trying to bulk up the followers on IG. We're we at the end of the year, around November, we are at 1,200. Now we're lampas 1,400. Please do follow us on IG. It's not a vanity metric kasi the more followers we have on social media, the more brands are interested in us. So the more people, random person from Facebook spamming Russian. So yeah, I even highlighted your spam. I can't pronounce your name though. My apologies. So, but please do follow us on Instagram as well because it does matter. The more brands like it, the more followers you have. So the more brands send us stuff, the more experience we can get trying out different tech. It's good for the channel. It's good for customers because we can we can recommend from personal experience. Alam mo yan, hindi masyado maganda. Yung Deep Cool, sobrang okay. Just as an example, we've had a lot of Deep Cool products, but I can say without bias na I can say from personal experience na sobrang okay talaga sila. Good value for money yung Deep Cool. Noctua, of course, always Aces. Just rattling off some people, some brands that have sent us stuff. Asus, pricey but always quality. Love their monitors. We recently had the Asus B660-F ROG Strix Mobo. Super love that motherboard. I didn't personally review it, but Rocky the programmer did. Uh, I do wish, and actually we have a new Asus keyboard that's hot swappable that they recently sent us, so we're gonna be reviewing that soon. So anyway, yeah, that's why we're trying to bulk up our IG presence because brands like it, and so brands like it, they'll send us more stuff. Also, sometimes like sponsors like it. The more sponsors we have, the better for YouTube because that means we can offer parts for cheaper. Kasi yung overhead ng shop bumababa kasi mas may kita kami sa from outside sponsors, which is not a lot in fairness, but it can pay for salaries, very important, and little things like that. So we're trying to it's not just a vanity metric. In our case, it has a direct bearing on the performance of the shop. And if you've seen my YouTube short, which I published last month, what they don't tell you about running a PC shop, it is effing expensive. The parts are effing expensive. The rent is effing expensive. Di ko na nga binabayaran yung mga guys namin. Joke lang, but that's the joke that we did in one of our videos na 3 months ko na sila di binabayaran. So it's really super helpful. Like the YouTube memberships. Thank you. I know some of you guys are watching. I've seen in the chat. So it really is super useful the additional income that we get kasi sobrang mahal magpatakbo ng shop. The extra income we get from YouTube, from the sponsors and things like that is really super helpful. So please, really do subscribe to us, follow us on Instagram as well. The link of which I will now post to the chat because I have no idea actually. I think it's Hardware Sugar. Yeah, it's slash Hardware Sugar full name. And here we go. Let's take a question from Aaron from YouTube if I can find it. There we go. There we go. Let's flash that. Yes, please follow us on IG. And actually, the added benefit is that our content on IG is not repeated. 95% or so of the content now, 99% is original. We have shorts or reels of the builds that we've done. Sometimes I post stupid shit on as what do they call it? Yung parang story as an IG story. So if you follow us on Facebook, if you follow us on YouTube, that's all unique content and then unique din yung makikita mo sa Instagram. Yeah. Kasi parang we found out that actually different audiences like different things. Parang the Facebook guys kind of enjoy it when I'm a little snippy with the customers. So like yung mga head scratchers natin and stuff like that. That doesn't really go down big on YouTube, so we don't post that on YouTube. So yun, there is added benefit if you follow us on Instagram because we also that is all original content as well. Christian from Facebook asks, is 2060 still good in 2022? Again, it all boils down to your budget and your upgrade timeline. If that is what the budget can afford, definitely I would suggest it over the 1000 series kasi wala pang RTX yung 1000 series. Um, Obviously, there's still a market for it because even Nvidia is releasing their 2000 series. I mean, nag-re-release sila recently noong 2000 series. So there is still a market for it. If you won't be upgrading for the next 3 years or so, sige, I would say, yeah, not go for it. Or if you just really want a game now, like, parang gaming time is precious. Kung if this time of your life, for whatever reason, medyo may free time ka, but you anticipate like when COVID finally dies down, maybe 6 to 8 months from now, and people have to start going back to office talaga, you anticipate that you won't have a lot of free time. This is now your optimal time. Then yes, yeah, that would be the best time. I do not have a lot of gaming time now, so just to apply it like on a real world example, like if I were to buy now, I probably wouldn't buy it because I have no gaming time left. Like I'm so sad na Lunar Steam sale ngayon, tas di ko pa nga natingnan yung Steam kasi wala talaga akong time mag-game. But yeah, so there's no like it's not a yes or like it's not an automatic yes or no. It really depends on your situation, on your context. Uh Another upgrade question from Merces. is it worth the wait for AM5 para mag-build ng PC this year? Again, it's super hard. Depends on the context. If um because I don't know how the AM5 will perform. I don't know how the 7000 series will perform. There are some leaks, but I never trust the leaks. I prefer to wait until the reviews talaga. Because it's also not fair to compare based lang on leaks, and hindi pa yan yung actual na makukuha ng customer eh. So I am very reluctant to base my decisions or my comments on leaks. Um, I trust AMD to come out with a competitive platform. I don't think they'll stumble, but I don't know how the pricing will be. So again, it's a very difficult question. Depends again on your context. If my general advice is if you can wait, it's always better to wait. But for whatever reason, bumibigay na taga computer mo, we have a guy who binibuild namin ngayon in the shop. Um, he like his PC is 6 or 11 years old. To be honest, I know that's a big difference. Honestly, I can't remember, but his PC is quite old already. Bumili siya ng top of the line, and yun, I think that is worth it, especially sobrang luma na ng PC mo. Even if you buy it off the line now, kahit may lumabas later on this year, which we'll talk about soon, which is the whole point of the stream, worth it na yan, okay na yan, sulit na yan. I think that's good value for money. And I will be delivering his PC personally to Lobo Batangas this Feb 1. So that's what I'll be doing. Feb 1, I'll be personally delivering PC to a customer in Batangas. I do like the long drives actually. I like getting into my car and just let's go, man. Let's go. So that's what I'll be doing in on Feb 1. So let me just go through before. Okay, let's pimp the Instagram channel again. Instagram whatever, Instagram account. Please do follow us guys. Tin from Facebook. Me too, wala pa tayong mag-game, dami work. I know, right? Timing din yan when to buy. Johnny from CDO, what's the best GPU for i5 10400? I it's para hindi mag-bottleneck, I'd suggest at least a 2060. But I am I am I know some people might even recommend like a 1660 or something like that. Pero that's up, Father. Sorry, I'll get to you, Father. There's a priest in the chat, but I've been talking to him over our nag-DM siya, so he's interested in some stuff. Um, just to answer the question, some people might recommend the 1660 Super TI maybe. I just go for 2060. I'm really reluctant now to kung kaya naman ng budget, I'm reluctant to recommend the 1000 series anymore kasi wala talagang RTX. At least the 2000 series, ang layo ng performance jump between 2000 and 3000, but um, I'm really reluctant to recommend anymore the 1000 series. But it also depends kasi what you game. If it's only 1080p, there's really no need to go bonkers with the 2000 series or 3000 series. Heck, even get the new 6600 card from AMD. The Asus version of which we just recently reviewed. You can check it out on the channel. So it really depends on the games that you play. But for myself, where personally I prefer to play in 2K now. I don't really play in 1080p anymore. Um, for me, at least the 2000 series card, and heck, even go 3000 series, because again, I'm a bit, my advice is not the standard advice. Kasi for me, okay lang mag-bottleneck sa CPU for gaming. Most of the work is really being done by the GPU. And I'm not saying this because I'm saying one thing and doing another thing. My personal rig is an i5 4690K, super old, but the GPU is a 3080. Because yun nga, when I game, I like 2K gaming, and a lot of the performance is via the GPU. So okay lang sa akin na mag-bottleneck. I know bottleneck, everybody screams bottleneck. But don't get too obsessed about bottleneck. If you want good performance for the games or the specific games that you play, it's okay if the CPU lags behind a little bit. It's not the most optimal, but I if you know for the best gaming experience and you don't want to shell out for a new CPU, something like that is still very much an option. And that is personally what I've done. We do have a video about it na nakalagay bottleneck na sadya. And yes, I don't mind the bottleneck because it's an old rig, but sticking a 3080 into it allows me to play the games that I want to play at a frame rate that I find decent and acceptable. So sorry, it's a long-winded answer, but it really depends on your context. In general, I would recommend at least 2060. But if it's only 1080p, then yes, like a 6600, the new 6600 from AMD would be worth it for that. Sup, Padre from Ilocos Sur. I have not been the farthest I've personally delivered is La Union. So I have not made it to Ilocos Sur yet. Um, is that the farthest that I've personally delivered? Yeah, I think La Union would be the farthest. I've gone like Subic. Um, I think Lobo Batangas is still nearer than La Union. But anyway, we're looking forward to you visiting us in the store. The ITX build is waiting for you. And I actually the case I recommended to you, the Evolve Shift. You can get the H210. That's fine. A lot of people do, but me personally, I love the look of that Evolve Shift. And then if it's not like I do need to build a rig for myself soon kasi nga sobrang luma na ng PC ko. I am really seriously considering either the Core P3 or kung mag-ITX ako, yung Evolve Shift nga na yun. Love that case. Um, Steam Deck supposed to be good, but yun nga, I haven't really ITX Addict, what's up? I haven't really been able to we don't have it yet, so it's difficult for me to comment. But the reviews I've seen have been pretty good. Leah Magnaye is up from YouTube. Hardware Sugar delivering to US soon. Actually, I was trying to do that because our shipper now allows for international shipping. And we do get some inquiries like from like who want to get access to deep cool products na the distribution network isn't so great yet in the States. Or even we have started carrying in the shop RAM by Colorful, which actually the reviews are pretty good. And Colorful has been a good brand for GPUs. Very under the radar, di sila masyado kilala, but very good quality. So we started carrying the RAM in the shop just this week, and I was looking at the reviews and like review channels in the States were like saying na, it's really hard to get this RAM, yung colorful RAM, kasi sa Alibaba lang sila meron. Pero sobrang okay siya. So, and here, it's quite easy for us to get here in the Philippines. So, I have tried to explore options how to ship to the States. Ang problema, yung shipper nga namin, sa Southeast Asian region pa lang. So, Thailand, Malaysia, Singapore, Indonesia, pero wala pa sa States. And I was kind of bummed about that. If anybody has an idea how we can ship from the Philippines to the States, and we can avoid in the words of Star Wars any imperial implications, meaning customs, like hindi yan yung maganda kasi usually sa mga shippers na to, parang sila na bahala, sanay na sila how to deal with customs. I don't want to get involved anymore with that paperwork, 'di ba? So if you guys know anyone, usually kasi baliktad US to the Philippines, but if I don't know if shipping cart can manage to send from the Philippines to here. But yeah, that is an option that I would be keen to explore kung meron. Debs from YouTube, pwede po ba mag-ship to Iloilo? Yes, we ship nationwide. And if you order via the site, our site, hwsugar.ph, naka-integrate na yung options dun. Yes, ITX Addict. I know we've been talking about my personal upgrade and I've been on the Core P3, but now I'm seriously considering going ITX. Also because my desktop setup here measures the space. I mean, there's space, but I really love the Evolve Shift Air. It looks so good to me. And hindi naman home RGB eh. So I don't mind it, if the display part is a bit compromised. So it's something I'm thinking about. Although I've been saying this for like 4 months already, right? That I'll be bidding my own rigs. I haven't gotten around to it, but we will soon. Um, Francis from YouTube, Neo Cube, Metallic Gear. I have no experience, so to be honest, I don't have any insights to give. Um, I'll look it up. Maybe it's something. This is the problem with me. When I find tech that I like, I end up carrying it. I buy it for the shop para mabenta sa shop. Even though hindi ko alam kung mabenta, hindi ko alam kung. And this has happened a lot with cases. I'm a very case person in the sense na ang ganda ng case na yan. I want to carry it for the shop. Like the Cooler Master. ML600 or something, like the aluminum. Like it's a really huge ass case, but it had like the fins and the vent. I think it was the ML600. We used to carry that, but we can't get it anymore here in the Philippines. Pero yun talaga, kahit mahina yung benta, we would buy that. So yeah, I'd have a bad habit of looking up cases and then like, ooh, ganda. Let's sell it in the shop. Uh so, but sorry, I really have no opinion on that particular case. I don't know what it looks like. I don't have any experience with it. ITX Addict, the GPU limitations. I know that's the one thing holding me back with the Evolve shift. Speaking of cases, we are getting a customer who got the Teenage Design one. I think they call it the Element one or the one, and he's getting everything else from us, but he got that case. It's a very niche case in the sense na you got it's very different from the usual cases. So we're excited to build in it. It wouldn't be a bestseller. There are limitations nga. Hindi siya pang performance in a sense. It's lacking the definitely, like, it's not like the NR200P, which is very designed with like long GPUs in mind and things like that. It meets a certain need na it's portable, you can cram in decent hardware but not like bonkers top of the line stuff. So we are, and it's very unique. So we are excited to build in that. Let me just get through the other stuff. I actually just two more things na tech to expect. So the Intel 12 Gen, we do already have it, and we do have it already in the shop. DDR5, we have it also as well. And just closing off with the 3090 Ti, which it was announced by Nvidia, but there's no ETA on it. And the expected performance gain is only around 10% or so, roughly. Again, it's very hard to say based on the leaks and based on the early news that we're hearing. It's roughly supposed to be around 10%, but there was a leaked MSI 3090 Ti card. Tapos yung recommended PSU is 1,000 watts. 1,000 watts, man. The only time I've ever used a 1,000 watts card or higher is, when I was mining. I've never had it for game. 1,000 watts is insane. We do have a recent video where I talk about like, um, do you really need 750 watts and higher? And actually, the 650 watt, very very modest PSU. Hindi pa nga siya yung gold rated from Corsair or Seasonic. We had a bronze rated FSP 650 watt PSU, and it worked very well for a sort of high end, not top of the line setup, but just below top of the line. But yun nga, the early news, the early reports coming out for 3090 Ti based on a leaked MSI model is a 1000 watts card. And I think it might need three 8 pins, very similar to the 3090s now. Uh, well, if you're gonna get 1000 watts, I mean, bago na PSU mo, siguro may three, kaya na yung three 8 pin connectors. But that is crazy times, man. Uh, so that is something to consider if you want the top of the line. But really, 3090 is already very high up there. Really, to get the TI is just like for bragging rights and say you wanted the best of the best. Although in fairness, yung TI does have a reputation for being super value for money. If you have a 1080 Ti, the legendary, much vaunted 1080 Ti, that's still good even now. For some games, yun nga, wala siyang RTX support. But for some games, I know God of War. To play God of War, no problem. Although God of War was super optimized well for PC. Um, that is, yeah. So the TI series is notable for being good value for money. Although you shelled out so much for it, especially if you buy it on launch. So you really should hang on to that card for years and years. So that is one thing to consider. But yun nga, wala pang details on when it will come out. And the last sort of tech to expect in 2022 is the Nvidia again, the RTX 4000. Actually, they haven't even announced that it'll be labeled as the 4000 series. Everybody's just expecting that based on the naming scheme now. Although it is named Lovelace, or the code name is Lovelace again, for the 19th century, I believe, British lady who is credited to be one of the, I don't know if she came up with the like one of the early, like she was very, trying to remember what I know about Ada Lovelace. But one of the earliest programming languages or one of the earliest computers or yun, very cutting edge from her time alongside Charles Babbage, roughly around that time. Babbage with his differential engine, which was like the first computer. Which if you think about it, wala pang transistors noon, lahat analog. So it's crazy that it's this is for people derive the steampunk aesthetic, but it's very wild for me that in that very different world of horse-drawn carriages and things, people were already speculating that if you could do these things, then you can have a thinking machine, something that can process calculations and transactions, and that's really wild for me. So that was actually the last bit of news I have for tech to expect in 2022. Um, we do expect to do pwede magtanong this Friday kasi we're trying to do it every first Friday of the month now to better, set expectations like when it'll come out. We do have a stream. We do have a short releasing tomorrow up now for YouTube members. Like I take a CCTV drive and I use it as a media drive. Is that a good idea or is that stupidity? You'll be able to, we talk about that in the short. Although, like what I like about that short actually is, like if you're not interested in the topic, it's okay. But stay for the. I use actual CCTV footage from the CCTV footage, that we have, that we filmed. So it's actually quite funny. We have well, not funny. Well, we have Rocky's dog falling into the pool by accident. Not well, okay, fine. To be it for me, it's kind of humorous. She was fished out right away, and Rocky was right there. But it's just like one of those accidents that dogs get into. They're very hyper, and then they slip into the pool by accident. She was never in any real danger. Rocky was right there, fished out right away. And then another real CCTV footage which I used in the short was a guy getting coconuts and yung ginagamit niyang panghila o panghatak nung coconut, parang tumama sa wire, electric wire, tapos nag-short. So it's really quite dramatic. You can see the wires sparking and shorting. That's actually a big thing for us in the village. Our house was not hit, but the neighbor's house was hit and nawalan sila ng kuryente. So it's risky. It's risky. It's risky business trying to get coconuts from the tree, and you're not actually climbing it. So that video comes out tomorrow. And yeah, thanks for joining me. How long have I been blathering on here? Gotta check it's about it's close to 50 minutes. I might pop over to the store later because I want to shoot for IG reels because we have a lot of we like the past 10 days there have been a lot of builds, a lot of activity in the shop. Um I want to pop over to get some footage for the IG Reels. I do need to shoot some YouTube videos as well. So busy, busy Sunday. But thank you for taking time out from your day to listen to me blather on about tech to expect in 2022. Please, please, yeah, I rarely make direct appeals to please sub and things like that, but please do follow us on IG. It is very good. It helps the shop a lot because it attracts brands and things like that. So have a good Sunday, guys. I will Kung Hei Fat Choi, advanced happy Chinese New Year. And yun, Feb 1, I will be on the road delivering a PC. Thanks. Stay safe. Have a good weekend. Now, how do I turn this thing off? Okay, let's just move the cameras kasi hirap. Yeah, so this is my setup. So three monitors. Yeah, one, two, three. Now I gotta turn off studio. Man, do I just go back? How do I turn this off? Live. Oh, here, end stream.